Alright, just a second. I'm getting things together. Alright. Hey, how's it going, everybody? So, this is where we're at right now. So, off stream, I upgraded all of their weapons as far as I possibly could, and I still could not beat the Fallen. I was just trying just to see if it was possible, and it was not. You absolutely have to have Cachexia in order to stop his end magic AOE, and if you, I think like the very low BR runs are only possible after the second playthrough, and after, because just because you get to keep most of everything that you built up, including your formations and abilities. Well, your orbs that give you the activated abilities, and a bunch of other stuff, and all your materials that you gather. You can easily run your way all the way through and have a very low BR run to really pump up your stats. And you see my BR rank is 45 right now. And that's because I was gaining BRs, upgrading weapons as I was playing through. And that makes a huge difference. I mean, like half of that is like from just killing stuff to upgrade and unlocking things like for the achievements. So that really did hurt me. So whenever I tried to do the low BR here, I'm here where the ultimate grind starts. So the main point of the ultimate grind is to boost your stats. As you kill stuff with a high chain, your chances of gaining AP up, strength up, intelligence up, etc. increase dramatically. And since these monsters are the lowest of the low right here, you don't accumulate BR EXP as much as if you were fighting something closer to your range. So that's the main point of doing the ultimate grind, is to like break the game pretty much by going there at very low BR and then just getting incredible stats ups. And then you're super beefy, everything bounces off of you and whatever. But I've been doing this a little bit just to see if I was getting anything, and I am getting some skill ups still, some stat ups, but not very much. But this place still has a use, and that is, it doesn't affect your chances of getting unlocking new abilities and leveling up your abilities. So we're still gonna do the ultimate grind, but it's not. It's too late for us really to really do the stat up thing, but we can still use it to unlock new abilities and most importantly, um, to get Cochexia. And I mean, he's pretty close. He's almost right there. I don't know the exact formula to get like each like after you get so many tiers, like you see Poison 3 and Paralyzed Gas 4, when you add up those numbers like that and you get so many accumulated, then unlocks the next spell or the combat skill for that tree. So we just have to keep grinding away at this until he unlocks Cachexia, and then once he has Cachexia unlocked, then that makes things a heck of a lot easier. But we can't just have him with it. We also have to. We also got to get it for this guy too, and he's a little further away, and I don't know if it might be possible to get him to unlock it or not.
Observe my stats carefully before making a choice.
Nora has a possibility of doing it, but man, she is way too far away. It's kind of weird. Like, I had her near since the beginning. I mean, it took a while for the BR to get high enough for her to unlock hexes, but she never really leveled it up. I turned off her invocations, hoping that might help encourage her to level it up more. But I don't think it ever goes anywhere. But those three guys are pretty much the only ones I have that uses that, and so I really got to work on that and getting at least one off per round is a big deal, and hopefully that will make my chances of getting that done a lot better. I mean, if not, that's okay. I mean, it's not like we can't finish the game without it, I mean, honestly, it's very hard to do all the stuff. Like, it's very hard to 100% the game on the first playthrough. You have so many things against you. It's just it's not impossible, but it's incredibly hard. So we're just gonna do this for a little while, for a couple of hours on this grind here and see where we're at. And if we can at least get one Cachexia, then we can try the Fallen. And if not, then we'll just move forward and call it a loss and just do all the side quests and then move forward with the main story. But see, this is what I do for the ultimate grind. So you have your team members that you want to pretty much end game with, and unfortunately, I wish Wingal was here, but unfortunately we can't, because you have to fight the Fallen in order to get him. But I would try to get to defeat the Fallen before doing the ultimate grind, so you get Wingal, and then I would go to Underwalt and get Karina, and then that would be my dream team right there. But since we got to do the Fallen after the grind, then. But the good thing though is that both of them have pretty much most of their spells already, so it's not like, as far as ability wise, they're not going to be suffering too bad, especially when most of your other units are already beefed up. So It's not a big deal. But this is what I do. Now you have to tweak the game to do this. You have to go to the INI file to enable, to turn on this one thing that allows you to swap out the weapons for your other units. By default, you can't do this, but when you're playing on PC, in the INI file, there is an actual on and off switch that you just change from off to on, and it allows you to change the weapons. So basically, what I did is I got the lowest ranking weapon for each of them that is the base weapon for all of their weapons, so that it doesn't mess up their peerless and their well, it's combat specific, but like if they get nimble and swift or mighty and peerless, you want it to match, and you want the weapon type to match so that it doesn't cause them to gain weapon skills that they can't use when you swap them back to their main weapons. So you get the base weapon of the one that they're using, and what this does is it makes their attacks weak. It lowers their defense also, but it makes their attacks weak so that everyone, or at least most of them in the group, has a chance to hit. And when they have a chance to hit, they have a chance to get that stat up, or to unlock a new ability, a combat ability. But also, if their weapon is at the base, then their magic attacks will be weaker too. So you might be able to get 2 or more magic attacks off of the same unit, giving them another chance to leveling it up or unlocking a new one. So that's what I did for all of them. Now, another thing I did was I swapped out all their strength and their intelligence boost, because again, you want to do as little damage as possible. So anything that boosts your damage, you remove off of their accessories, and you equip physical defense items, because you're going up against a bunch of little monsters, and even though they're very weak, they're going to chip away at your hit points. And you want to spend, unless you're skilling up your recovery or your healing magic or items, you want to take as little damage as possible. So you substitute whatever bonus boost that they have for damage, and you replace it with physical resist. And these are sold at a shop, so you can buy these and you don't have to farm for items for them. So you just stock up on these and you just replace it with any characters that will use it.
Never laid eyes on a Servani.
So
impressive, huh?
So that's what I did. See, I got all their base weapons on, all their resistances on, and one last thing too is you want to disable their special attacks, their remnant taps, weapon arts, anything that
I have many years
that will wipe out the whole playing field.
Haven't you stared long enough?
See, like I disabled an Omni Strike, things like that.
Honeywell the second.
You don't want any summons out there. You want to be doing the damage, not extras. And she's there, and she has to be there for the quest, but it's okay because she doesn't really impact anything. So this is how you get it going. So you let me just make sure I save in case I goof up, because chance of goofing up on this is possible. So you just run up here and you just right outside, you hit your attack and it pisses them off.
Let's do this.
And you go around like this, and you just corral all of these little worms up, all these little bugs. You just go around, piss them off.
Let's do this.
Make sure you don't get too close to the ones that are angry at you already.
Let's do this.
Making sure that you don't have any stragglers, and then when you don't, you hit your time thing, and you should get 20 links. 20 total is the number that's there.
Let's clean up this trash in one sweep.
So I got turbo mode on. It says off, but it's just saying when you hit the button again, it turns it off. So it speeds things up quite a bit. You see, I got currently 396 chains. That's the number of monsters I killed so far. There's about 50, 70-ish, something like that per 20 links. So again, this is an emphasis right now on not stat boost, but for gaining abilities, ranking up abilities and gaining new abilities. So if it was just stat boost on that, then you would just keep hitting clean them up quick, or the basic attack, so that they don't overpower and kill everything before everybody else has a chance. But since we're doing this for the magic skill ups, we're focusing on leveling up their abilities. So for Zoian, he's our main focus because he's the closest to Cachexia. So we want him to always use hexes. So Silent Gas is a hex. Dispirit is also a hex. Poison Gas is also a hex. Leshao also has hexes. Smoke Canister is a hex. But everyone else is pretty much whatever you want. Whatever you want to do. Since Dragonflight and Ref Cleaver is his strongest moves, you want to level those up first. And that's basically it. You just do this over and over again until they're all defeated, and then you just go back up the stairs, wait for them all to respawn, and then rinse and repeat.
I'll show you what I can do.
Don't let your courage flag. I have a feeling mystic arts will be quite valuable this time around.
Don't be careless, men.
battle's on.
I need to do something real quick.
Stand your ground! Ooh.
Watch this.
Thought that'd be effective.
Yay.
Son tired organization.
Do it like that every time!
All right.
Nice! Hang in there, all right?
I can need your help.
Take care of yourself this time.
Okay. Almost forgot to take my instance. Okay, let's see.
All you got?
Enemy union terminated.
Stand your ground!
See, he just skilled up his Rift Cleaver there.
Hitting Hulda. Not gonna let you run away. Wait! More bad guys! Come now! Look it all!
All right.
Check this out. Oh! Looks like that hurt. Oh, come now, walk it off.
Don't die.
Worth my time. Come, let's show them what we're made of. Only in death does one cease to grow.
I hope I can
There's
put this
still
new power
plenty
to
of
good
power
use.
left in these old bones.
I know I'm good.
This is of no concern to you.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. do this! Let's do this!
Ah, shit. Stuff.
Let's do this! 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 Let's do this!
Oh, come on. I was far enough away.
Let's do this! Let's do this! Let's do this!
I wouldn't try using the time thing to round them up
Let's do this!
because once you use it, it resets the hate. So if you've been gathering up and then you use the time thing, then all the hate gets reset. So if you don't catch them all, then you don't, you know, missed one over there. It looks like I got all the others, so should be good.
Let's do this!
Yep.
Let's clean up this trash in one sweep!
Come on, guys! Here I go! Like that every time! Yeah, you did it!
Advance on their flank! How'd you like that?
Wait! More bad guys!
Paulson
I
is
have a
crazy.
feeling
His normal
Mystic
attacks
Arts
do a
will
lot.
be quite valuable this time around.
I can't help but feel sorry for them.
Keep fighting! Just finish!
Charge!
Didn't like that hurt.
Aha!
This isn't worth my time.
Stand your ground! Ooh!
They caught us!
Stand up! Keep fighting!
Don't let your courage flag! Are you still with us?
Here it is!
Better than I expected.
Your life is over.
You require assistance. This isn't even worth my time.
Their numbers have grown. Don't be holding back
Stand
now!
up! Keep fighting!
And here you are. Some healing for you. I am warm, but I feel already.
We're gonna win!
Not too shabby!
Better than I expected.
I'll show you what I can do!
Death does one substitute this power to the fullest.
There's still plenty of power left in these old bones.
Yay!
This is of no concern to you.
Excellent.
Still getting some stat ups, so. It's nothing game breaking.
If you're just looking this up for kicks...
Have you never laid eyes on a Subani?
Impressive, huh?
What would you like me to do?
Hello there. Am I doing my father proud?
I have many years of experience as a soldier.
I'm not sure if disabling the rank 5, the maximum rank for skill ups for an ability, if disabling it helps increase the chances of scaling up the other ones, or even if you use that one, you can still randomly rank up another one. I'm not sure how that works.
I'll follow whatever orders you give me.
It's unfortunate with the items, though, that you're only limited to how much you have in your inventory before it runs
You
out.
want
That you
something?
can't skill them up anymore.
Haven't you stared long enough?
My contract cannot end soon enough.
The world revolves around me.
I am Emma Honeywell II.
People always shower me with attention.
Let's do this! Let's do this! Let's do this!
Oh man, that one got too close. When you get over 255 chain is whenever you get the maximum bonus.
Let's do this!
Damn it. Did it again.
Let's do this! Let's do this! Let's do this! Let's do this!
Ah, God, I messed that up.
Let's do this! 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 Let's do this!
Yes! Go on! Attack!
The battle's on! Yes! How's that?
Got him!
You don't die or anything.
Watch and learn. Advance on their flank! Their numbers have grown. I have a feeling mystic arts will be quite valuable this
Even
time
if
around.
they're weak, don't go easy on them.
My time.
Pay them back! Double!
Don't hold back! I'll show you what I can do! What? Why? Ah! Fight them to the death! Here it comes!
Stay strong!
Their numbers have grown. them back double!
If I can get 3 Hexers in one unit, then they can do a Mercule, and that's pretty awesome because it's like a battlefield-wide AOE that hits with every status cell.
They've caught us from the side. Whoa!
Watch.
Finish him!
Impossible!
Here I come!
What? Why?
Rise!
You okay?
God, what do you think you're doing?
I'll see this to the end.
Thanks. This is
Who
just
wants to be
the
my
beginning.
guinea pig?
There's still plenty of power left in these old bones.
I know I'm good.
This is of no concern to you.
I must surpass my mother.
Let's do this! Let's do this! Let's do this!
Oh, come on.
Let's do this! Let's do this! Let's do this! Let's do this! Let's do this!
Let's do this! Let's do this! Let's do this!
We're locked with them! I'll grind your bones to make my bread! Are you serious? That's what we like to see. Oh! Did you see that? Watch and learn.
Very nice.
Their numbers have grown. I have a feeling mystic arts will be quite valuable this time around.
Oh, well, hey there.
Oh, hey, thank you, Bill, for the follows. Just doing a little grinding.
Did you see that? Brilliant!
Oh yeah, this is my first playthrough, so it was a little rough. BR is a little high, but I'm still doing pretty good though. I'm just getting some stat up still, and I'm mainly focusing on trying to get Cachexia so I can do the fallen. Oh yeah. Yeah, it'd be a lot easier if it was the second playthrough, because then I wouldn't have to do any farming for weapon skill ups and weapon upgrades. So I'd be able to get here like a really low BR and then get like ungodly amounts of stat ups. And then Rush would be able to start off with hexes, and then he'd be able to have Cachexia a lot sooner. And I may not even have to do this before going against the Fallen. And then I could do this with Wingal. Honestly, this isn't really needed unless you're like trying to do 100%. Like, I can go and I can beat the game as is.
Take care of yourself.
It's those optional bosses that are really nasty. And I hate that when you kill the leader, they all flee. Yeah, well, I mean, the best reason to, especially for your first playthrough, is to make sure that you get all the orbs for Rush's abilities, all the magazines, and gather as much materials as possible, and then your second playthrough will be a breeze. Yeah. If you miss this for some reason, you can still do it okay with Ball Z. It's just not as good, but it's still good though on its own. Yeah, it will. Yeah, because he'll earn a lot more experience than these things will.
Let's finish this up.
Like, I'm on chain 734 and all you had a BR go up once. Still, I do need to get the BR just a little bit higher so that Pegasus can learn shards or wards. No, I think it's wards. And then once he gets wards, then he'll be able to focus on wards and then get Thaumaturge. I don't like that combination. That might trigger a blackdown. I'll go with that. It's already a little late. Like, I started at BR 44 whenever by the time that I got here. So I'm getting some stat up still, just not as good as if you were like 20 BR lower. But I'm doing this just for the main point of skilling up my my abilities and trying to get Cachexia with my Hexers. I already maxed out the as high on their weapons as I could without progressing the game, and it still wasn't enough. And even with the Mystic Seal formations, those end AOEs were hitting pretty hard.
Hang in there. What? Why?
I also kind of goofed up with Arena too. I did the weapons tweak so that I could swap her staff out for a katana early, to get her a head start on leveling up her katana weapon skills. And yeah, I did not know that there was a bug when you do that it resets what they asked for. So I was confused as to why Emma kept asking for the Night Bloom instead of Irina, because Irina is priority. And I found out that whenever I did the proper item swap out with the katana, that it erased her priority, and she won't ask for it anymore. So if I want her to have the Night Bloom, I have to basically wait until the upgrade for Emma, and then take that Night Bloom off, and then whenever she upgrades hers, then I equip the low grade Night Bloom on Irina, and then take the upgraded Night Bloom and put it in the inventory, and then give Emma something or other, and then fight a fight or two, and then Irina should be able to ask for the Night Bloom upgrade. But shit, if I do that, it will reset the it'll get rid of the base Night Bloom. But as long as I don't have a higher upgrade for whatever I got equipped on Emma, she should still have that final upgrade for the Night Bloom on her item list, and then she'll just upgrade to the 3rd tier Night Bloom once I get all the items for her. It's a pain in the ass. I mean, if I knew about this before, I would have just kept her with the staff until she asked for it. But I was wanting to do the dual snow petals with Karina. I was wanting Karina and Irina's team because once Irina becomes an alchemist, all the item users on that team become buffed up a lot from that class. So I wanted to have Karina because Karina had some really good item skills. I never did either. You know, I never really thought this hard about the game before. I've beaten it several times through the years, but I just kind of like went willy-nilly with it. And my parties were never that organized. But I was able to 100% it a couple of times. I think it had to have been like the 2nd or 3rd playthrough, though. It had to be.
I'll grind your bones to make my bread.
Yeah. Like I like some of the 7, but you get them just so late in the game. It's kind of a shame. But I mean, I would think, like, you know, you find the ones early enough in the game, and the longer they stay with you, the more buff up they get, especially like when you're doing the grind here. But man, it's like some cases, like with Nora, for example, like this is the first time I've had Nora like in my party, like from the beginning, and her hits are okay, but man, her skills, she rarely skilled up at all. And I was surprised by that. Like, she's pretty weak compared to everybody else now. Like, I use Loki in the beginning, but I always switch him out by mid-game. Yeah, that's what I just said. And I didn't even bother with like Jorgen. Like he's got some unique classes like Jin and stuff like that that seems pretty cool. But it's like you don't get like any of those items to unlock those other classes until late in the game. So it's like if you really want to use him to his max potential, you basically have to like get him as soon as he becomes available, like with Adventure or something like that. You know, it's funny. I watch all these other streamers, and I always, and it's just an inside joke of mine because I know how this game is, and it's always been an inside joke where I always like nag them to try playing this game, and it's like of all the ones that have ever tried to get them to play this game, no one has ever tried to play it, and like they always thought about, oh, it's like Banjo-Kazooie and shit like that. You know, it's so hard. You know, but come on. Yeah, I love this game. Hey, welcome by the way, Talik. And I'm like, if they want a real challenge, they should play this game. Yeah, I just want to. I mean, this is a good trolling game because it's like if you play this game like a typical RPG, it will beat your ass.
Only in death
Yeah.
does one cease to grow.
Oh, cool! A shell learned the spirit. Nice.
There is no limit to my strengths.
I must surpass my mother.
He's getting there. Gwen, he's in the background on her back. Yeah. Yeah, if you're like if you try to shit, you little shit. You see that little fucker, he was like trying to climb up the stairs. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah. My little brother had this game on the Xbox, and that's when I first saw it. And then I saw him play it, but I never really paid attention to see how far he went. And, like, I had this game for, like, what was it, like, over 14 years or something like that. And I just, you know, downloaded it, you know, for the PC. And this is actually, this copy right here is the very first PC copy before it went on Steam. It's an off Steam version. And so all the problems that it ever had, it has on this version. I'm surprised it made it this long before getting corrupted. I mean, I don't know how many times I've moved this from hard drive to hard drive. But it's lasted this long. But you know, it's kind of funny with this 3070. I get some weird glitches sometimes, mainly with the map, with like the zones and stuff, with the graphics. Sometimes it acts like it wants to throw me through the wall, and that's kind of bizarre. Like I'm walking, and if I'm like hugging the wall or something, it'll like for a minute like try to jump me up like through the map. But I never got stuck though. But it kind of rubber bands me, and it it's like, whoa, what happened there? No, I never heard of that game before. Is it similar?
Let's do this.
Yeah, there's a few copies sometimes that pop up on Amazon for this version.
Let's do this.
But it's very rare, and they usually go pretty fast. But you can like watch Amazon once in a while, and you'll see like the PC copy. It'll say PC, and from time to time they'll pop up on there.
Let's do this.
But I don't think they made any real changes to it. Like since all these, it's amazing for a game that's hardly that's hardly talked about or anything like that. It has been through so many different ports. It's amazing. Like they even came out with some ports for it, like for the PS4 or something like that. But they keep making ports for it. But no, I mean, it's not like it's a super popular game that a lot of people play or talk about. So I think that's kind of strange for Square Enix, because I thought like this was like, I can't remember for sure, but I think this was like the prototype for Final Fantasy 12, and they were trying to do something because like how they do with the Final Fantasies, they always do different mechanics to try to make each game different than the last. And I think this was like their black sheep of the series, that they were trying to do something new with the battle system, and they kind of like got a lot of bad reviews for it just because of the difficulty and how confusing. They threw in so many different variables and the mechanics into the battle system for this game that, I mean, a lot of people don't understand it, even if they try to read up on it. So I guess it was a flop in a way in their eyes, but instead of like sweeping it underneath the rug, they just kept porting it, and I was surprised by that. Like once in a while, I'll see somebody play it on Twitch here, but it's like maybe once a month or something like that. I'll see somebody play it. Yeah, it's kind of crazy if they made it on the phone.
Turn them back! Double!
Crush their flank! Here I come!
Looks like that hurt.
Reinforcements?
I have a feeling mystic arts will be quite valuable this time around.
Even if they're weak, don't go easy on them.
Nice move. You should have fled from the beginning.
More bad guys. Hang in there.
I remember playing Tactics, and that was a long time ago. I liked 7 a lot because it was the first PlayStation game that I got for Christmas when it came out. When I got the PlayStation, mainly for that. I kind of liked 8 too, but I found 8 annoying because of like the draw system. Like you had to keep drawing for the magic. I found that rather annoying. But I did like 15 quite a bit. I played 15 and I really enjoyed it. They really did put some work into it. 12 to me felt just like Final Fantasy 11, but offline version, pretty much. After playing this game, any other game feels easy. Oh, nice. You want to jump splits. You know, one game I'd like to see them remake is Chrono Trigger. I'm surprised just the popularity of Chrono Trigger. They haven't remade it yet. I'm not talking about a remaster, but a full remake of the whole game. I was all over the place with consoles. I guess I wouldn't say my very first, but my first console experience were not of mine, but of my uncle's, and it was an Atari. And I played like Asteroid and Star Trek and stuff like that on there. And then my dad got me a Nintendo for my birthday, and then that was a start of a gaming addiction because I got really hooked on it. But I didn't really have that many games for it. I only had like a handful of games. But it was like maybe a year after that, like when I was like moving around, and I was like between him and my mom. It was around that time when like renting stuff became a real like main thing. I do have that for the Sega Genesis. I have Ghouls and Goblins for the Sega Genesis, and that's a challenge. But I used to always rent different consoles. Like one week I'll rent like a Super Nintendo, and then another week I'll do a Sega Genesis with like some cool looking RPG that I haven't seen before. Yeah.
Stay strong.
There was a few hits and misses, you know. I remember nearly all of them. But Kaon, he's another streamer on here that I hang out with sometimes, and he's all Nintendo. That's all he does. He plays Nintendo games, and he has. I don't know if he'll pull it off before he dies of old age, but he plans on playing every single Nintendo game made, and I don't know how many hundreds that is. That's quite a few. But he's already played quite a few of them that I had back then. So it was kind of cool to see him play those sometimes. But I think I was more on the Sega Genesis, or the Sega side than the Nintendo side. It's a shame that Sega fell out. Well, I wouldn't say fell out, but they fell out of the console wars, and they stuck to making games.
Only in death I must learn how to use
Damn it, you shill on Cachexia.
Hey, I feel a little.
Oh right, K-Mun changed the Anthraxia. That's the best class for.
Stronger than before.
Yay!
That's the best class for the Solvians. Oh yeah, that's the bad side. Hold on 1 second, I'll be right back. I was hearing something outside. I couldn't tell if it was thunder or someone's speakers. There's a dark overcast overhead, but I could not figure out what that sound was. Let's see.
Don't let my age fool you.
If you're just looking this up for kicks.
Have you never laid eyes on a Subani?
Impressive, huh?
What would you like me to do?
Observe my stats carefully before making a choice.
Hello there.
Am I doing my father proud?
Haven't you stared long enough?
Let's do this! 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 Let's do this!
Will not with them!
No, it doesn't hardly proc at all. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it go off. Since I've been doing this.
How's that?
Nice work.
Don't let your courage flag! I have a feeling mystic arts will be quite valuable this time around.
I can't help but feel sorry for them.
Are you still with us? I'll stop you no matter the cost!
You're going to die. What do you think? Better than I expected.
Can't believe we let them get so close! Stand your ground!
One sec.
Finish them all!
Oh, come now, watch it off!
Looks like that.
Wait! More bad guys!
Stand up! Keep fighting! Stand up! Keep fighting!
Isn't over yet.
We're gonna win!
I shan't allow you to
Wait,
fall here.
somebody took me out?
Together!
Aren't you all right?
Hang in there! Yeah!
Yep. Yeah, it reduces the overall EXP gain.
Do you require a
I'm not sure if reviving them negates that though.
What? Why?
Yeah.
You don't die or anything.
This is just the beginning. Who wants to be
Little
my
by
guinea
little,
pig?
I'm becoming stronger.
That means nothing to me.
See that? I'm constantly growing stronger.
Still 45. Haven't budged at all.
Let's do this! Let's do this!
I don't know why it bugs out when there's one that's nearby that doesn't get angry.
Let's do this!
Maybe there's a limit to so many that can you can trigger at once.
Let's do this! Let's do this! Let's do this!
The battle's on! Beautiful!
Hang in there, weakling!
Advance on their flanks! Their numbers have grown. I have a feeling Mystic Hearts will be quite valuable this time around.
I know, right?
Even if they're weak, don't go easy on them.
Nice hit! Fight them to the death!
Have us!
Their numbers have grown.
They've caught us from the side.
This is my first stream of this game. Well, yeah, this is my first playthrough on Twitch.
Their numbers have grown.
Yeah, so I played on so many different consoles and PC throughout the years that I'm doing, like, for now, like Sega Genesis role-playing games on Mondays, and then PlayStation games on Tuesdays, and then Thursdays and Saturdays PC. And right now I'm doing Phantasy Star 2 on Genesis, Grandia on PlayStation, and this game on Thursdays and Saturdays. And I have so many games that I don't think I'll ever run out. Sega Genesis doesn't have that many role-playing games though, so I think once I run out on Sega Genesis, then I might switch over to Super Nintendo. They got some RPGs on there. All my VODs are on Twitch and on YouTube. I'm a little past. I think I'm getting close to the second disc, so I'm into it pretty good. I know it's pretty hard. I know for streaming role-playing games because it's hard for new people to jump in the middle of them. You know, unless they already know about it. But yeah, I got them backed up on both Twitch and on YouTube. It's quite a bit though, but I mean, if you know the game is fine. If not, then I mean, you can always look up and catch up on there. But it's Grandia is one of my favorites. The Grandia series. I played all the Grandia games. But I guess they just stopped making them after the third one. There's actually 4 of them, but one is like a black sheep of the bunch. They didn't call it Grandia 2 or 3 or 4. They just called it Extreme. And it was the worst of the 4. Wild Arms is another favorite of mine. I like Wild Arms. It's each game of the series is a little different. It seems like they tried like targeting different age groups with each of the series, and you can tell like some are made more for adults than others, and others are more geared towards children. You know, I like all the Wild Arms games though. They even made a remake of the first one, which was nice.
I am warned by the future of your life.
I think that's a really silly weapon skill, Retribution. It shows all the other monster groups as if it has the ability to take out multiple, like it has the ability to take out multiple parties, but it's such a short range attack that, I mean, it only hits like one or two right in front of them. I don't know how that works. It does good damage though. I mean, it's not a bad weapon skill. I just thought it was silly. Like, why would they decide to make that one like a large AOE? Let's not have any AOE. No, I haven't. You know, it's funny, back in the day, like, from PlayStation and on back, it was the box art that would grab my attention, whether or not I chose to play it or not. So I usually, like, if I was renting something, and I would look at the box and I would look at the pictures, and if it looked interesting enough that, you know, it was, you know, it looked like in the way that it was something I was interested in, then I'd grab it.
May the God Emperor bless you all.
So that's how I usually chose my games to play. But there has been a few games, you know, later on, you know, that I decided to give a try, and I ended up liking. He got 4th rank in Disparate and still no Cachexia.
Let's do this! Let's do this!
Man, I keep hearing something outside.
Let's do this.
And I can't tell if it's thunder or if it's like one of my neighbors doing something. I'm very sensitive to sound, so whenever I hear something that I can't identify, it bothers me, and I feel like I have to
Let's do this.
find out what it is. I think that's all of them. I don't see any stragglers.
Let's do this.
Yes. Go
Yeah.
on. Attack.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's the deal with people to the right of my house. Like, everyone on the left side is real cool, and I don't have a problem with anybody on the left side. But I've had nothing but trouble with the people on the right side of me. The neighbors that live right next door to me, for example. Man, I've had so many different troubles with them. Like, the first time it was the noise, but then they were pretty cool about it, and after I told them, you know, turn it down a little bit, I never had a problem with noise though anymore, until the guy tried rigging up electricity from his utility pole to a camper on the side, because a lot of people around here lost their homes to a tornado. So there's quite a bit of people around here that live in campers, and so he was trying to rig a power line or an extension cord to that camper for one of his friends to live in, and he doesn't know anything about electricity, and he was pulling way too many more amps than what that breaker box could handle. And so he ended up melting his breaker box. It blew out. So he was running on a gas generator for weeks. And his property is like, my house is on the edge of my property, pretty much. So it's right there next to his. And he has that gas generator running day and night, and those things are loud. If you know how loud gas generators can get, it's like rah, 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 and it was like that all day and all night. So, you know, I'm not an asshole. I mean, I can't tell him to turn his generator off. They need power, but, you know, and I knew that they couldn't afford to fix their box, and they had like all these different people coming around, you know, that didn't have a license. You know, you could clearly tell they didn't know what they were doing, and they were trying to jury rig all kinds of stuff to try to restore power. And I paid out of my own pocket to have an electrician go out there and put a new box in for them, an upgraded one that could hold the amount of amps that they need. I did that for them out of my own pocket, and it wasn't just out of the kindness of my heart. It was because I didn't want to hear that fucking generator running every day and night. So I did that, and I found out, like, instead of like doing their part and getting like you know, the ground wire, the proper ground wire to run from that pole to the camper, they just got a regular extension cord and hot wired it into the breaker box. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, you know how much amps those things can only hold, you know? And I mean, I'm surprised that the place hadn't caught on fire yet, like the appliances hadn't burst into flames yet. I mean, it's crazy because, yeah, it's stupid because you have to understand, it's not just the amount of amps that the cord can handle, it's the distance too. That the longer the cord is, the higher rating of amps that it requires in order to carry that amount of electricity without getting too hot. And they didn't have it set up that way. They just took an extension cord and just wired it directly in the box to there. And I don't know, it hadn't burst into flames yet, but I mean, that's just kind of crazy what they did. And then the third thing, after that, about a year ago, he brought this dog with him, and they got like 3 dogs already, but they're football dogs. That's what I call any dog that's the size of a football that just yaps at you nonstop. And one of them is an ankle biter. It'll run up to you and try to bite your ankles, but I mean, they're small dogs. I mean, it's not like they're gonna rip your foot off or anything, but still, I mean, it's an evil little shit. So they had all those dogs, and he decides to bring a third one there, and he said it was a guard dog, but like, what the fuck are you gonna be guarding? It's all trash over there. But I mean, it was a pit bull mix, and just by looking at the attitude of the other dogs, I knew it was gonna be trouble in the end. And sure enough, you know, at first that dog was only a nuisance. It would just bark. You know, I mean, this area, it's out in the county, so there's a lot of things you can do out here that you can't do like in the city. And so a lot of people have their dogs run loose. And this guy, you know, had a pit bull mix, and this pit bull, you know, was just annoying at first. It would just stay by their fence, you know. It respected the boundaries, and it would stay by the fence and just bark at me every time I would go outside. And it would chase cars, you know, up and down the road, but that's all it really did. And then I don't know what happened with it, but then it started getting more into my yard and getting like right up to me and barking at me, like in my own yard. I got a half acre, so I mean, it's a big yard. And I would have to not chase it, but I would walk up to it and point towards the other side of the fence and tell it go, and just keep walking it back until it's on the other side of the fence over there, and then usually he'll just stay there. But something happened, because there's a lot of kids around here all the time that go back and forth a lot. You know, they go to the lake and stuff, they walk up and down the street. Something happened to that dog where it started becoming more aggressive, and I heard that it bit a kid, but I didn't see it happen or anything about it, and I didn't see like any cops or the sheriff or anybody come by. So I didn't know anything about that really. But one day, when I saw that dog out there, you know, and I was gonna do like I always do, you know, walk it off my property, and when the neighbor's wife or girlfriend came up there to the edge of the fence, he just started to attack me. And I was like, oh shit, you know, I mean, this was a pit bull mix, and I didn't have my gun or anything on me. I'm not one of those paranoid people that carry their guns around them all the time. So, I mean, I was too far away from the house to get it. So I had to like punch the dog with my fist repeatedly until it finally gave up trying to bite me, and it ran off. But before he did manage to bite my leg, but he didn't bite it too bad. He only got his front teeth, you know, not his fangs, but his very front teeth on my calf. And yeah, that's when I said that was it. And I called the sheriff over there, and I showed them the dog bite and everything. And they were supposed to do something about that dog, because when a dog bites you and they can't show proof of a vaccination, they're supposed to take that dog and put it down. And but they didn't. They said that they had to take it to a vet and then have it quarantined. But they didn't. They didn't do that. And it wasn't only 3 days later that they had that dog out again. That dog out and loose in the street. And I was in the front yard, and I heard a girl screaming, like screaming bloody murder. And I ran out to the street, and there was like a girl, I think she was about 14 or 15 years old. And she was down the road, nowhere near the property. And the dog was biting her. It was lunging at her leg, and it was biting her leg. And she was screaming, and she was trying to slap the dog away. And there was a bunch of kids further down the road that were running up to her to try to get to the dog. And I ran inside to grab my gun because I was going to shoot the dog. But by the time I came back outside, they were able to beat the dog away. And there was too many kids around for me to shoot the dog because they were too close to the dog. I didn't want to risk, doing anything. But I stood there with my gun though, and I called the sheriff again to show them what happened, because I mean this was after what happened to me, and they should have done something with that dog before, but they didn't, and because of that, the dog attacked somebody else. So after that happened, yeah, his personality, he's not an asshole, but he's irresponsible. He doesn't take care of things. I mean, with the electricity, for example, I mean that's a clear indication, that he doesn't do what he's supposed to. He doesn't care.
You require assistance.
But yeah, he ended up going to jail because he ended up going to jail for like a few days for an outstanding warrant for the first dog bite. Not the dog bite that happened to me, but the dog bite that happened before me with that kid that I heard about. I guess they fined him then when the dog bit their kid, and he never paid that fine, so it became a warrant. But it only caused him to stay in jail for a few days. But after that, he was supposed to get the dog put to sleep, and he finally did it. It took them a few more days, and they kept the dog inside their trailer, but eventually they did get the dog asleep. And then, after that was done, with that whole dog debacle, the neighbors next to them started playing their music loud, and it's like they weren't there last year, or they just moved there last year, like around April, at the same time this year. So they've been there about a year now, and they were pretty quiet until like around November, and then he started like jamming out. Like I don't understand people like that. Like, if you're in your house, you can play your bass and your all that stuff, and it doesn't really leak out of your house that bad, unless you're living in a tin can or something. But he likes to like broadcast it outside. He has his speakers outside, and he just likes to blast it loud for the whole neighborhood to hear. And I was gonna tell him originally, like, ask him to turn it down when it first started to happen. But then, like, when I got up to like the property, it looked like a crazy person's house. It had like the keep out, fuck off signs everywhere, like cameras monitoring, and like he even had like a little barricade on his front driveway so that to discourage people from parking in his driveway. I mean, I mean, just the way that everything was set up, it looked like a mentally unstable person was living there. So I didn't want to just go up on his property because he looked like the kind of person that would, you know, it looked like someone lived there that would shoot first, ask questions later. So I didn't want to really, didn't feel comfortable going there. So I just, you know, called the county. Yeah, so I just called the county and I just said, hey, you know, I don't want y'all to find him or anything. You know, I just want y'all to go over there and just ask him politely, you know, neighbor thinks you're playing a little loud, just turn it down a little bit, you know. Well, whenever they went over there and they talked to him, he started this passive-aggressive thing where, like, in the middle of the night, sometimes around 2 or 3 o'clock, I mean, you'll just hear this loud boom. Like, he would turn the bass up all the way, and then he'd just blast it for a second or two. And then he'd turn it down, wait for an hour, and then he'd do it again. And this is insane because I'm like, I'm not the only person living around here. Like, there's other houses around him, you know, that he's doing this shit to. And so I just started like calling them, and I was like, hey, you know, if you gotta find them, find them. But I'm calling complaints for this noise, you know, this problem. And then whenever that dog attacks, whenever that dog attacked that girl, you know, they were out there, and so I took the opportunity because they were out there in front of the street, and the sheriff was there. So I thought it was the perfect time to go over there and talk to them. And immediately they knew it was me. Like, I don't know really how did they know it was me, because I didn't think I would do anything to, like, you know, make them know that it was me. But they knew that was me that was calling them over there. And they were like really defensive about it. And I was like, hey, you know, you didn't really have the welcoming Maddie out either. You know. And so I talked, I mean, I was polite the entire time, and I was just talking to him. And I just said, you know, hey, you know, they told me if we're ever too loud, just come over here and ask us to turn it down, and then we'll turn it down, you know, there's no problem. It's like, okay, sounds great. So not too long after that, you know, they were playing it loud, and so I went over there and I just said, hey, you know, just asking y'all, just turn down just a little bit, not too much, you know, just you're buzzing my windows, so just turn it down a little bit. And they're like, okay, yeah, that's fine. So they did, and then it happened the very next day, and I'm like, hey, I'm back over here. And it's like, oh, yeah, sure, no problem. They just turned it off. I'm like, man, I didn't tell y'all to turn it off. I mean, you can still play it, just a little bit of reserve, you know. And then they got like, and then they started like talking about, yeah, and then it's like they started talking about like all this stuff about, you know, their rights and everything, and there's no law that says they can't play their music loud outside during the daytime and all this other stuff. Like, they got really, really defensive. And I'm like, man, all I was just asking is just a little bit. I'm not asking y'all to like cut out your fun time altogether. I mean, Jesus Christ. And then it was fine. And then up until about a week ago, and then I went over there, and I'm like, this is getting old. And I didn't even make it like to their house, and he saw me and he just turned it off, and then he just yelled out loud, You're always fucking coming over here asking to turn my stereo down. That's all you come over here for. I'm like, thanks. Thanks a lot, buddy. But I'm like, geez. And like, when I was talking to them before, he told me that, you know, he was in prison for 20 years and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, that's probably, the guy's got some issues, right? Like, when you're in prison for that long, you know, it's probably for a major felony, but I don't know what it could have been. But when you're in jail that long, you have to like take orders from all of these, you know, asshole prison guards. And I mean, there's a lot of, you know, there's some nice ones, but there's a lot of assholes too, you know. And you know, I've never been in jail, but I have an uncle that was in jail, and he was talking to me about that. You know, he was like, man, if they're in jail that long and they had to put up with those people, they probably don't like anybody telling them what to do or even asking them to do something. You know, it's just a thing they had to put up with for so long that it just sets them off. You know, probably just makes them irate. But you know, since that one time though, it's been about a week. Yeah, it's been about a week and it hasn't been bad. I sometimes hear like a really low rumble, but it's not annoying or anything. So I don't know if they might finally just have given up and not doing it anymore or what. But it's been about a week and it's been quiet. And you know, I like doing nice things for people, even if it was a reasonable request. You know, I still like to do something nice for somebody that, you know, that goes out of their way to do something like that. So if they're quiet for another week and I don't have any more problems, you know, I was thinking about just getting them like, because he's like 57, right? That's what he told me anyway. I was gonna get him like a tablet, just a small tablet, and put on there all of the you know, rock and roll classics on there, because he uses a radio. You know, radio quality is shit. You know, I mean, you hear all the static and crap and stuff that comes through the radio. So I was gonna get him like some studio quality, like the FLACs. You know, the studio quality of those songs. You know, like the FLACs of those songs, and put them on there. And get him some really nice bass, you know, enhanced bass headphones, wireless headphones for them too. And I was going to give that to him, you know, as a thank you for keeping it down. Then maybe that might help prevent any future issues with them. Well, see, the thing is that it's not really the speakers themselves that's causing the problem. The way that he has it set up, he works on muscle cars, right? I mean, well, I would say muscle car because I never seen any other vehicle that he's been working on out there except for this one white, like, old Corvette that he has out there that he's been working on. But he has this really old speaker system inside of a toolbox. One of those large tool shelves that reels around on cart, you know. And he's got his shop, I guess if you call it that, is just outside. It's not a garage. It's open, but he got some sheet metal and he made like a roof with it over it. So the whole entire property is like enclosed in sheet metal. So you've got to understand, like, whenever you're playing speakers inside of metal like that, and I mean, they're not, you know, soundproofed or anything like that. I mean, they're just bolted together, you know, loosely. It causes a lot of vibration, and it's that vibration that's all the noise. You go all the way. If you get underneath it, it sounds normal. But if you go out onto the street and further down to my house, you don't hear the music. All you hear is like just the vibration. Vroom, 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 vroom. It just vibrates. It just all you hear is like rattling mess, and it goes through everything. It goes through windows. It goes through. I mean, it just goes through everything. And I even like I spent hundreds of dollars on soundproofing my window right there to my bedroom because it's like right across the backyard of my neighbor to where they are, and it just goes right through it. It doesn't do anything. So this is insane. I'm still waiting on it because it takes like 6 weeks for them to make, but I spent $1,500. That's right, $1,500 with this soundproofing company to make this special glass window insert that fits inside the window seal, and it acts like a double pane window, except the glass is specially made for soundproofing. And it creates they'll create a vacuum or a seal between the two windows, and it's supposed to cut the noise from. They said 75 to 95%, including the low frequencies. And I got that just so I don't have to hear that in my bedroom, because that's where I stream and stuff at. And of course, where I sleep. But I'm waiting on that to come in.
You'll be fine.
But that's just how far I'm trying to go, just to keep that noise out. It's crazy. You spend that much trying to keep out someone else's noise that they probably have like a $50 sound system, whatever. Oh man. But that's the neighbors I got on the right side. On the left side is pretty cool though. It's quiet 95% of the time. And like the one right next to me is a neighbor with a family, and they have a girl, you know, and next to them, I don't know those people very much, but I mean they're quiet most of the time. Sometimes they got a visitor that has a bass in their vehicle, but they're never there that long, maybe like 10 minutes at most. And then they're gone. And that's the only problem though, man. If that was the stop, I'd have no more issues. But all things considered, it's still far better than what I had to deal with before. So I'm not feeling like I'm in pure misery.
Let's finish this up.
Not bad.
To each their own, though. Everybody has got their own ways of like coping through all this insanity right now. With me, it's doing this and gardening. I do a lot of gardening, and it's works out pretty good. I planted a whole bunch of fruit trees, and I got one nectarine tree that's already flowered and it's making nectarines now, and I got a big grapevine, a Concord grapevine, and it's got tons of grapes on there. There's like 20 bunches of grapes growing on it right now. I don't know what I'm going to do with all these grapes. And this year I planted a really big some really big plum trees. And but they didn't. They made a lot of flowers, but they didn't. They didn't keep them. I guess because I just planted them. But there are a few plums that are growing on them though, so it's not like there's completely no plums. Just a few.
Let's do this.
And then I got some. I got a ton of stuff, man. I planted so much stuff this year.
Let's do this.
I also have some pawpaw trees I got grown in the back. They're still very small, but they're growing pretty well. Oh man, no! Oh, why did they tag me? Usually when they get up to you, they stop right before they attack. That's so annoying. And along that fence, that I got
Let's do this.
I got passion flowers. I got maypops, which are native to the United States, and they produce those tropical fruits, the passion fruits, but they're small.
Let's do this.
But the main thing with them is that I found this out. Their leaves contain a mild sedative, and they're very good for like making tea out of for controlling anxiety. And I thought that's pretty cool. You know, I can actually use this, you know, to calm down, like with chamomile, you know. And then I have a couple of purple passion fruit vines on there too. And you know, those make the fruits that you usually see with smoothies and things like that, you know, like at the mall, whatever. You know, the passion fruits. And yeah, so I mean, I got a ton of stuff. I got 3 apple trees too, but you know, I had to learn a lot of stuff the hard way. I didn't know much about like chill hours. Well, it's somewhat nice. See, I live in Zone 8, and so it's a little cold for most tropical stuff. So I had to find like cold hardy versions of things to handle the winter, because the winters get like down to like 20 to 25 sometimes. Not too long, but like it might go down to like 25 for a day. But that's long enough to kill most tropical stuff. So I have to find stuff that, you know, that can handle a little cold, at least. I had to learn. Yeah, so things are like, as far as like planning goes, like throughout the country, it's broken up into zones, and the zones are like temperature ranges. So maybe like Zone 8 is colder than Zone 9, but it's not as cold as Zone 7. So some plants will do good in Zone 8, but they can't survive in Zone 6. But when I first started buying like trees and plants, you know, I was just looking at the zones, but I didn't know anything about chill hours until I learned the hard way. Like when I first bought fruit trees, I bought a bunch of citrus because I thought that citrus were okay in cold weather, because I saw a lot of like pictures of like frozen oranges on the vine or on the tree limbs, and I thought that they could handle cold, but that winter killed all my citrus. I had grapefruits and oranges and lemons and limes, killed all of that. So I was like, whoops, that was a bad investment. So I was like, okay, well, I'll buy some apple trees, you know, and some plums in. And but when I first bought my apple trees, I didn't know about chill hours. And like I was saying, like you see Zone 8, and they say, oh, it grows in Zone 8. But what they don't tell you is that, yeah, it grows in Zone 8, but it requires like 800 chill hours. And chill hours tells the tree to wake up. To wake up, to flower, and all that shit. So if it doesn't get that many chill hours during winter, it will either wake up later in the month that it was supposed to, and that's bad because if it requires a cross pollinator to make fruit, and it wakes up too late, then the other one would have already flowered, and then when it flowers, there's nothing to pollinate it with. So I planted a Honeycrisp. Yeah. Canada's like a Zone 1 or a Zone 0. Hey, it gets really cold, yeah. I know. Yeah. So, yeah, it's funny because it's too cold for the tropical stuff to grow here, but it's too warm for the for a lot of the apples and other fruit trees like that to grow here. So I found out like these apple trees I planted required 800 chill hours, and I only get about 300 to 400 here. So what happened come spring, my Fuji, which says all different kinds of things if you look up Fuji apples. Some places say they only need 400, other places say they need 700. But it woke up just fine. It's leafing out and everything fine. And but the Honeycrisp, it requires 800. It never woke up. It was just a stick in the ground. That's all it was. It wasn't dead. It just never woke up. It was just still sleeping when everything else was opening up. So I dug it up today, and I replaced it with an Aimstein. Yeah, Honeycrisp is an apple. It's a type of apple. You don't have those in the supermarket. You know, you go to the supermarket and you got different kinds of apples. You got Galas and you got Honeycrisps and Fujis and all that. Most people are familiar with like the Red Delicious, the red apples, you know. That's what most people think of apples, the Red Delicious. Yeah. And there's several kinds. See, I can't grow grannies down here, Granny Smiths, because it's too warm. I don't get enough chill hours for it. But I found this one strain. It's a golden apple variety, the yellow skin. And not only does it have very low chill hours and it grows great, but it also is self-fertile, so you don't need a cross-pollinator with it. And what's even better is that it will cross-pollinate other apple trees that need a cross-pollinator. So it's a really good apple tree. So I got that planted today. And I can't wait for it to grow out. Let's see how that turns out. And I tried growing something else too last year, and it died in winter because, again, I didn't know. Oh, hey, Dal. Hey, what's up, buddy? Thank you for stopping by. I was talking about fruit trees.
Going to perish in this trash, are you?
By a beautiful guy.
It's been about 3 hours since I've been doing this. I'm gonna I think after this I'm gonna call it, and I'll do some more. I'll do some more grinding off screen, just until I get Cachexia, on my hexers, and then Saturday I'll try to fight the Fallen again. And if it doesn't work out, then I'll just skip it. It's fine. It's actually, I noticed it's kind of hard for me to read chat. When I'm hooked up to my VPN, because I have my VPN all the time, it does something weird to chat. Not to browser chat on Twitch, but when I'm looking at chat on my OBS, it keeps resetting the chat. Not wiping it clean, but it keeps saying welcome to the chat every minute or something like that. And sometimes it's like keeps trying to re-log into chat. And when it does that, sometimes it misses what some people say. But I can still see it on the box, that pops up on my screen. So I can still see the chat. I just can't see it on the side sometimes. Just a minor inconvenience, it's not bad. I like using them for privacy, but I just don't like the fact that a lot of places now are blocking VPNs. And I can understand that, because a lot of people use VPNs for bad stuff, like DDoSing and stuff like that, to mess up a website. So, I mean, they do that as a protective measure to keep from getting their website shut down. It's just bad for those of us who, like to use it just so that we can't have our data stolen. Well, that's what I like about NordVPN. That's the VPN that I use, and it's because they give you you have the option to get a dedicated VPN, and usually whenever you get a dedicated VPN, it won't be blocked because only you're the one using it. So usually, like if you use shared VPN addresses, and they do something bad and they get that IP banned or shadow banned or whatever, then nobody else can use it on that website. But with a dedicated VPN, you might still be able to, because nobody else has used it. But not many VPNs offer that service. Especially not the free ones. Free ones are terrible. Ugh.
you alright?
Watch me.
You'd be surprised just how much information you can get from somebody just from them browsing your website. You know, especially a lot of the ones that say, you know, we use cookies. Oh, there's so much you can do with cookies. I mean, not that they all do it like this, but cookies, man, if you save cookies on your cache from a shady site, and it may not even look shady, you know, it may pass itself as legitimate. Oh man, they can grab pretty much any information they want from your computer that way. Yeah. Yeah, it's not cheap, even if it's for several years. Yeah. The only problem that I got with NordVPN is their split tunneling isn't working. So split tunneling is a feature where you can have like your web browser not be VPN, you know, not go through a proxy. And you can have everything else go through the VPN, or vice versa. But for some reason, whenever I try to use split tunneling, it causes VC face to not be able to use its face tracking. Isn't that weird? The face tracking on VC face is not networked as far as I know. So I have no idea why would split tunneling on NordVPN would affect my face tracking on a hard drive software. I just thought that's strange. But I tried getting with like their consumer service, their customer service, and they were just drawing a blank. They couldn't figure out the problem or have any idea what could be causing it.
Are you even trying? Yes! Hang in there! Get ready for the best move you will ever see!
Huh.
Ow!
This is just the beginning.
Hey, I feel a little stronger than before.
I know I'm good.
This is of no concern to you.
Alright, I'm going to go ahead and call it here. I'm going to continue doing some grinding tomorrow. I'm going to grind on this in Phantasy Star 2 because I got to level up on Phantasy Star 2 for the final boss. Tomorrow, so Saturday, I'm going to, I should be nice and beefy, and I'll try the Fallen a few times, and if I can't beat them still, then I'm just going to go do the side quests that I have left, and then go to Underworld and proceed with the story. Let me see who's on right now. See who can I can raids. Ooh, got a tough choice. Bessie or Woozleys? Woozles could use the raid. A cowgirl would give me some clout. I haven't raided Woozles in a while. I'll go ahead and raid Woozles. Yeah, thank you for coming by, and hope to see y'all again soon. Thank y'all very much for coming by, and I will see y'all Saturday. Take care, and you have a good rest of your days.